Hi there, it's Mary Lou Buell with a couple of key Promethean panel tips as we head into hybrid learning. While the expectation is to teach students that are live in front of us concurrently with students who are home on Google Meet, we need to make sure that everyone's really comfortable presenting the Promethean panel to their Google Meet. So we're going to cover that in a minute. But first, most of us are sharing classrooms, and so we're also sharing Promethean panels. And it's going to be really important that each panel user has their own user profile and their own password to keep everything really secure. So we're going to start there.
When you turn on your panel, the first thing you'll see are the user profiles. These are just the username, an optional password, as well as the settings for any apps that you use, as well as your browser history. A couple things to keep in mind. Your user profile is only going to be valid on the active panel that it was created on. There can be a total of 10 profiles. That would be the owner, the guest, plus 8 additional profiles. If you change panel settings, things like the time and the date, the Wi-Fi, that's going to affect all users. Changing profile settings only impacts things that are relative to your profile, like your Google Drive, your Google Classroom, that kind of thing. To get things started, click Owner, then the Settings wheel, then Add User. From here, you're going to click You, parentheses, New User, and then Set Up Now. Something new and very exciting you're going to see in the locker is that we now have access to the Play Store. That means you can get apps for the panel like your Google Drive, Google Meet, and Google Classroom. Just search for the app that you want and then click Install and then connect it to your Google account. Now keep in mind these are apps, so it's going to look different than it does on a desktop browser. It's going to look just like it does on an iPad, where you see your stream and your classwork tabs and your people tab down at the bottom rather than the top. You're also going to notice that you don't have a link to your Google Meet in the banner. Instead, you have to look in the upper right-hand corner for the little video camera icon. And if you click that icon, you will access your Meet link. Using Meet on the panel is a great way to connect your in-person learners with your remote learners. Just make sure that you've installed the Meet app from the Google Play Store, that you've plugged in a webcam, and you either start the Meet session from the home page in the app by typing in your code or from the Meet link in your Google Classroom. And a tip that we're finding is that the webcam works a lot better if you plug it into the USB port on the side of the panel rather than using the port on the front. Using Meet on the panel is going to be very similar to how you've been using it on your desktop or iPad. The mute and end call buttons are at the bottom of your screen, but what's a little bit different is that some of the other settings are going to be in the top right of your screen. Click the 3 horizontal dots in the upper right-hand corner to access your settings. If you're having any trouble with the webcam, if you click Switch Camera, that usually resolves it. And this is also where you'll be able to click Present Screen. Once you start presenting, any application that you use on the panel will be visible not only to the students that you have in your classroom, but also the students at home can see and hear everything that is happening. When you want to check back with the Meet, it's really easy to toggle back and forth by clicking Recent Apps, and then you can see both the Meet and whatever application that you are presenting in. When it comes time to save, just click the 3 dots and then Export PDF Screenshot. And from here, you can choose to save to your Google Drive or post right to Google Classroom.